Hi friends, this is Denario Research and welcome to the part number 8 of XRP Telegram bot tutorial. In this video we'll finish implementation of the send function. Last time we stopped at the moment when we passed all validations like usernames check, balance check and so on, and we had to distribute some amount of XRPs among receivers. In order to process this transfer, we need some extra helper function which we'll call moveXRP. Let's create it somewhere in the bottom. Function moveXRP, and this function will have following parameters. From, which means sender's username, to, which means receiver's username, amount to transfer, and of course callback. Okay, firstly we need to update sender's balance. We'll find sender's profile in a database and deduct amount from his balance. For simplicity, let's copy this query and edit it. So we'll find user by his username. His username is from variable, and if we have error as usual, we'll console log it. Our user can't be null because we made a check, and if we have no errors, we'll just update his balance. So user update balance user.balance minus amount. So we'll deduct from sender's balance amount that we'll transfer to another user. And here we also have callback. This is just an error. And as usual, if we have error, we'll console log it. Otherwise, else, we'll update balance of the receiver. Here, as usual, we have to make a query to database, pull receiver's profile and update his balance. So let's copy our favorite database query, paste it here, and edit a little bit. Okay, our username is 2 in this case, and if we have error, we'll console log it. So our user can't be null, because definitely we will not send any XRP to non-existing user. Okay, this thing we also do not need. And finally we have to update balance of the receiver. We'll do this in the similar fashion. Let's copy and paste this row. So user update balance plus amount, because we will receive some XRPs, and here we'll also have callback with error inside, and if we have error, we'll definitely console log this error. Else, if transfer was smooth, so we'll call callback function. Callback. Okay, let's format it. And something is missing. Yes. In parallel, we'll send information about this transaction into database. So let's go to the bottom of this function and create new transaction. Let new transaction, and it equals to new transactions. And here we need to provide the following. Let's go to our models, transactions, to remind ourselves so what we need to provide. Username of the sender, timestamp, type of transaction, in this case it would be send transaction, sender, so it would be the same as the username, receiver username, Transaction ID is optional, so we'll skip this, and amount we have just transferred. Okay, so let's create this transaction. But let's keep things simple and go to the top where we already created transaction and copy this information, paste it and add it. Okay, here is our transaction. So timestamp we'll leave it as it is. Type it would be send. Username, so it would be from. This is owner of the transaction. Transaction ID, since it is optional, we'll remove this. From, name of the sender, which is also from. To is the name of the receiver, which is to. And amount is just an amount. Okay, transaction is created and we are ready to save it. New transaction dot save. Here we have callback with only error, and if we have error, just console log it. Console log error. This is it. We have just implemented our helper function move XRP, and we can go to the sending process and we'll use this function here. We'll loop through the array of users, so for 2 of users, and because we work with multiple callbacks, for safety let's create a separate variable for username, which will be USR, and it equals to 2. And here we can apply our function move XRP, so from context from username, which is sender's username, receiver is USR, and amount is parse float amount, and callback. It is empty without any parameters, and in the callback we'll notify sender that amount was transferred successfully. So context, reply with markdown, and here is the message of our reply. So username has received amount of XRPs. Great, let's save this code and test it in Telegram. For the testing purpose, I have created 2 users in database who will receive XRP. The first one is XRP test user 1 with 10 XRPs on the balance, and another one is XRP test user 2 with 20 XRPs. So let's switch to Telegram and send them some amount. Okay, we are in Telegram. Let's start conversation with our bot and check our balance. Okay, it is 40 XRPs, so it's enough to experiment with send function. Let's send 1 XRP to XRP test user 1. XRP test user 1 and hit enter. And it's time to debug errors. We have some problem with amount. Instead of value, this code returns position of the amount inside of input array. In order to fix that, let's do the following. Input, and we'll use this position, and it will return amount itself. So let's save and test code again. Great, now everything works. We have sent 1 XRP to XRP test user 1, and we received back a message that XRP test user 1 has received 1 XRP. And let's switch to database to see that we have updated balance and transactions there. User Denario research now has 39 XRPs, and XRP test user 1 now has 11 XRPs. Wonderful. And here is our transaction. It has type send and user Denario research sent to user XRP test user 1 XRP. Okay. Now let's make a transfer to both test user 1 and test user 2. Send 1.4 to XRP test user 1 and XRP test user 2 and hit enter. Okay, test user 1 has received 1.4 XRP and test user 2 has also received 1.4 XRP. Let's go to database. Balance of test user 1 is now updated. It has extra 1.4 XRPs. Balance of user 2 was also updated. He has now 21.4 XRPs, but balance of Denario research was decreased by 1.4 XRP instead of 2.8. Actually, it would be your homework to figure out how to fix that. Or you can support my channel by donating some amount of cryptocurrency and I will give you a hint. And here are our transactions from Denario research to test user 1, amount 1.4 XRP, and from Denario research to test user 2, amount 1.4 XRP. Well, send function is done, and that's all for today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want more videos, and leave your questions in the comment section below. Bye!